Hello everyone and welcome back to our next presentation. If you are walking around, I do encourage you to come on back into the main conference hall, but you will be able to hear this presentation from wherever you are in the space. Our next and final presentation for the day is brought to you by Meszaros, one of our conference co-organizers. And what they've done is really cool. We've done an alternate reality game in ARG, and as they'll tell you, there's going to be some spoilers here, so you have had a chance to play that. This is your warning, and you'll get a second warning in just a moment. So, EL, come on up down to the stage, and we will take it away from there.
I walked off the stage instead of coming up to the microphone. Hey, everyone. I am super excited to share this with you. I created a very, very tiny little alternate reality game for this conference to really explore, I think, a different dimension of the ways in which history and gaming can sort of intersect here. But I am going to walk you through it and go through all of the puzzles and all of the paths through the ARG. So if you did want a chance to play it, this is going to ruin that for you. So feel free to leave and not have it ruined if you want that chance to play. It's pretty short. But I guess without further ado, I am going to share a video with you that is going to show exactly what the ARG is like. So let me share my screen real quick here. We'll even make it big for y'all.
And just confirming screen share is looking good, and a note to the audience, there's no audio in this. So we'll have
There's
EL talking.
no audio. It's just me and my voice that you're going to hear as I live narrate what's going on. So there is a poster hanging up, as Anne mentioned, down in the sort of like southwestern area of the Gathertown space. And if you click on that poster, it's going to show this beautiful papyrus fonted poster that I designed in Microsoft Paint, announcing a talk on ancient aliens, which should throw up some red flags to you history fans immediately. But if you go to that poster, it lists a email address down below to get in contact with the person who is giving that talk. And you can send him an email at that email address. I sent an annoying one that just says hello, and that I had some questions about the upcoming talk on aliens. I sent that to him. I did leave my inbox open so y'all could see. But then pretty quickly, he sent me a reply back. And in that reply back, he lets me know that he's going to provide updates shortly. And there's also a link to his Instagram account. So you can take a quick look at his Instagram account with a dapper goateed face. And then some stuff that seems to be out of order, but some scary saucer imagery that we don't like to see associated with history that some people have commented on to say, like, hey, maybe this isn't exactly what you should be associating with your historical research here. And also that maybe some of these images were posted out of order. So if you take that grid of 9 images from his Instagram account and rearrange it so the black square is all centered, the way he probably intended to upload them to Instagram, but he's new to it and he got it a little wrong. It shows you a URL. And if you go to that URL, there's a lovely website that was put together painstakingly over many, many hours that tells you a little bit more about this guy, this Alistair Reginald Jeffries. There's also a comment section where some people have also left some comments. There's some concerns about what this talk is going to be about that you can read if you would like. But at the bottom of the page is a phone number that you can text if you have any questions. So if you text that phone number with the keyword aliens, you should also get a response back from him pretty quickly, but it takes a little bit to connect to the SMS service here. And when he sends you a text back, it is a text that is indicating that there's some concerns about the topic of the talk about the aliens, but it comes with a link to a Google form where you can submit your opinion on whether it's really a concern or not. I'm going to pop back off mobile here and show you that form on desktop. You can answer whatever you want in this form, but I was aware of the controversy and I haven't changed my mind. I think aliens is a bad topic, and I'm not interested in attending his talk. And I'm going to tell him that he should maybe rethink the topic of his talk. And in that feedback form, there's a link to a calendar so you can keep updated on when that talk might be rescheduled for. And if you go to that calendar, take a look, there's just one event associated with it today, actually, just before now. But it looks like he's canceled it. And if you want to watch an apology video explaining why he's canceled it, you can follow the link there to the YouTube video with Professor Alistair Reginald Jeffries himself, which I won't spoil all of that for you. You can go watch that video if you like. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here and come back. So that's the gist of the ARG. It's pretty short, pretty simple, very limited puzzles, really just one puzzle and then a lot of finding the right path to the next bit of information. But the premise that I wanted to deal with here is creating this sort of white archaeologist who really wanted to engage with the problematic trope of ancient aliens and what that means in the field, and sort of coming to terms with some people explaining to him that it wasn't great. And what I love about ARGs as a way for exploring this, of dealing with it, is it allows you to step out of the frame of the designed game itself, right? This isn't just the one window of the game that you've started up to play. This isn't just the box that the game pieces come in. This is saying, the whole internet is at your disposal and can become a game for you in exploring this topic. So that's the game. That's a quick little ARG. If anyone has any questions or concerns about it, or tips or tricks for the next time we try an ARG, I'm totally happy to entertain it. But otherwise, I hope some of you get a chance to play it or had a chance to play it. And thanks for watching along.
Well, thank you for that presentation there and walking us through that lovely ARG you have there. I saw from it, I unfortunately didn't have the time, but I was a little intimidated. I wasn't sure if we could solve all the puzzle in time. But a question I actually had, which maybe some of our listeners and watchers will have as well, is if they're an educator and maybe they're considering using an ARG in the classroom. Two questions I have. One, would they be allowed to use your ARG in their classroom?
Yeah, listen, it's not, I think, ideally suited for classroom use, just because it doesn't have a ton of the good content explaining why Ancient Aliens material is so problematic. But I think if you bolster it with some more information regarding that, it could be interesting. And they're totally welcome to. They're also, if you've got a little bit of time, this one was fairly easy to set up. The most complex part is registering your toll-free number with the U.S. government. But aside from that, it's not hard to make use of some of the tools that people are familiar with as internet denizens, right?
And that was actually my second question: is what advice would you have for educators looking to make their own ARG? Which
Yeah. Okay, so listen, I am new to creating ARGs, so don't listen to me. But if you are listening to me, what I'd say is that the best tools for engaging people in a game that's meant to provide an alternate reality or expand reality is use the tools you're familiar with, and especially use the tools your audiences are familiar with. It's way more interesting if people use Google Forms all the time and that becomes part of their game. It's way more interesting if people use Instagram all the time, that becomes part of their game. If you're dealing with teenagers who are not using Facebook, then Facebook isn't maybe as interesting a way to incorporate this type of ARG content. So find what you know, find what your audience knows, and pull that into the game. And I think it becomes way more engaging.
Well, now I need to figure out how to get an ARG into Microsoft Teams.
I think you can 100% do it.
I want to open the floor for anybody else who has questions here. Just like before, you can feel free to put those into the chat, the Q&A section, or go ahead and approach the stage and hop on that mic. And then, Mark, I saw you start to approach. I wasn't sure if you were just changing beanbags there or approaching the stage. Well, I'm not hearing or seeing any other questions here, so I want to thank you again, EL, for putting together that really engaging ARG, giving us a few quick and dirty tips on how others might try it themselves. I am excited to tool around with that. Perhaps it might even be a assignment gift to some of my students in the future. And with that, I want to just kind of address you all here with thanking you for coming to our conference. We are not closed yet. I'm getting the hey from Mark. I'm not sure if you had something else you wanted to say, but hey, back to you. But I just wanted to give some just kind of general closing notes. The conference here will be open for the next hour, so if you want to go ahead, still chat and mingle with each other, so we're not going to turn the lights off on you. But I think Lexi here has a few closing notes for the conference anything you want to add, and I have a few I'll add of my own.